Hey, we're here at Venture on Country Club in Mesa, and we're looking at our kitchens. One of the unique things about this property is it was ran as a hotel, but all of the units have kitchens. And they're laid out this way with this nice little bar here. And we have our construction manager, Danny, here with us. Hey, Danny, thanks for coming.
Hey guys, how you doing?
And we're trying to figure out how do we use this bar and this countertop instead of the really high cost of replacing it with something else, if there's a way we can resurface it. And Danny and his team have come up with a great way to preserve it, because we have 120 units here. So we want to figure out how to do this so that we can get through all of the units and resurface it. So Danny, how would you start if we want to go about this resurface process?
Our resurface process, to start, we start with cleaning all the existing joints, all the old caulking. Any imperfections that we find, we have to sand them down. Next step is basically a sanding process. So we have to break the surface in order for the bonder, the primer, to stick. And
so this has already been sanded?
This has been sanded already.
Yeah, yes. So it's a little bit rougher, I can tell, than if it's...
You can feel that little bit of a texture on it. Yeah.
And what shape were they in? Because you said we have to repair any imperfections. How do they look as you've seen some of them?
You know, most of them have been in pretty good shape. Mostly the corners you'll see where we've had to, we use a Bondo on some of the areas where it's the existing laminate has chipped off, broken off. Okay. We sand the corners nice and smooth. Some of these areas, like in the joints mostly, water causes them to blister in some areas, so we'll just basically clean the edges, and then we apply a Bondo to make it nice and smooth.
So that little darker color, that's the Bondo
that's
already
Bondo,
been?
Yes. So it's nice and smooth right here.
Okay.
Yeah, the transition is nice though.
Okay, so this is kind of prep now. So we got it cleaned, got it sanded, have the Bondo.
Yeah.
What happens next before we start actually putting anything on it, or is it ready to go now?
No, next step is the cleaning process. Next step is where we'll come in with a denatured alcohol, clean rag, clean them very well. In the areas where the old stove was, I like to use what's called a TSP, which is basically a degreaser, and it cleans that area really well. We get it nice and smooth, and then we're ready for our primer or our bonder coat.
All right, great. Now we're in a unit where the base coat is on here, and I got to tell you, this looks really clean, really good. We just wiped it down. Dust settles really quickly, so have to keep this area real clean. Are you happy with this? Does it look good?
This is what we have to work with. This is our base coat, primer, bonder, however you want to put it. This is fourth step in the process.
Yep.
After this, we're ready for our spec coat.
So yeah, these countertops are probably 30 years old, but they look brand new because you've sanded them down, cleaned them up, added the Bondo in those spots. Mm-hmm. So I mean, you can't tell that this is a 30-year-old countertops. All right, so let's bring on the texture coat.
All right, texture guy.
All right, Danny, this is looking great. Now this has the speckle on it. It's dried. How long did this take to dry like this now?
It dries fairly fast. This process dries within 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
And then we're ready for our final coat.
And I'm just thinking back to our very first countertop we were looking at, that ugly old white thing, and now this is really looking brand new, fresh. One last step, and tell us a little bit about the last step that comes next.
The last coat is just the seal coat, basically an epoxy topping, top coat, and then we're done.
This looks really nice. It has a little bit more glossy than the last step. How long do you think could you expect this to last, compared to buying something brand new? Is this going to last a couple of years? You got to replace that again, or is it longer than that?
Depends on use. Probably within a year we can probably expect to probably touch it up.
Yeah.
No more than that. Once a year maybe.
Okay. All these different steps just show you one of the things we look at when we do these projects. Instead of buying new, we try to use what we have, upgrade it, and Danny and his team did a great job. Good job.
Thanks, man.